I'ma tell you, I'ma tell them, I'ma tell you, I'ma tell them, I'ma tell everybody, yeah. Aye, aye, aye. Coming out in hundreds of thousands, yo. Aye, aye, aye. Time don't reach to save our people, yo. Turn down for what everybody sing along, oh. Remember the people that put you in power and gave you the mantle.
Tuna vijana wote na leo amenina wewe jujua inasukukata tamaa amka leo dunia yetu leo.
It don't have to be this way. We can hope for a better day. No, it don't have to be this way. There is hope for a better day. Tell you, tell them, tell everybody. Tell you, tell them,
I don't wanna follow, I wanna be a leader. A brighter tomorrow and a better Africa. Sisi wote ni mali ya Mungu. Sisi wote ni mali ya Mungu.
Africa is a continent of tomorrow. And Africa free of need, poverty and sorrow.
The purpose of today's meeting is to let you know about the goals. We call it the Sustainable Development Goals. I'm sure many of you are aware that we have the Millennium Development Goals, which was set way back in 2000, and it lasted for 15 years. And there were 8 goals that were set. Some were achieved, some were not achieved. We're going to get into that. The UN guy will speak a bit about that. And also, to know about why Unilever is part of these goals. To give you a top-line overview, there's a key reason why we are part of this, because it aligns to our USLP. I'm sure you all know about our USLP, and we are already contributing to these goals as well. In the formation of these goals, Paul Pullman was a key member in forming these goals as well. He sat on the high-level panel to develop these goals. So without over-elaborating, I just want to hand over to Mehdi to just take us through why we're part of these goals and what it means to Unilever.
Global goals. As Gabby has just alluded to, a lot of them are actually interwoven with what we are already doing, okay? And Paul Pullman, as CEO of Unilever, has really put Unilever on a platform in terms of being one of the key companies in the world that is really driving a sustainable agenda. Okay, Unilever as a brand now is considered the highest in corporate world on the subject of sustainability. Okay, which is a major achievement. So actually, it's also a challenge for us in Ghana. We don't talk a lot about what we do on the area of our USLP, and we need to also in Ghana get to a level where we attain the #1 corporate brand for sustainable agenda in the country. I think that's a challenge to all of us. When you look at some of these, you can instinctively tell some of the areas where we naturally fit in, okay? So Unilever is not about force-fitting ourselves into all the categories. We naturally fit into some of those categories based on what we're already doing under the USLP and based on what some of our brands are doing. So if you take something like Good Health, okay, with Blue Band, with Flora globally and a good number of our brands, we're already in the good health segment. Clean water and sanitation is also one of those natural areas where we're good at, okay? Internally as an organization, we work across other areas like gender equality and making an impact. On climate, by making sure that our effluent treatment plant is working, we're not, putting dangerous chemicals into the rivers, by watching our emissions on carbon dioxide, etc. As an organization, we're also impacting on climate. But I'll show you what globally we've outlined for each other. Okay, so why the goals matter to our business, okay? The challenges the goals aim to tackle are aligned to our USLP, so we've mentioned that. The Sustainable Living brands are already bringing the goals to life through our social missions and making sure that these goals become the reality, ensure sustainable growth. So it's really intertwined. You can almost feel Paul's impact on the list over there. You don't need to be told. You can feel his contribution coming through. So it's what we are doing as Unilever. Globally, Domestos brand is the brand that they are helping to improve access to toilets, and so helps in the area of clean water and sanitation as well. So in actually using our brands, I'm not sure many of you are aware, in Ghana, for example, there's a pilot going on in Kumasi, and I think Volta as well, called the Unilu. Okay, so Unilever has developed it's almost like a portable toilet. Okay, that even if you don't have a separate toilet room, you can, it's like the size of a big potty. Those of you who do the American one, is the American, the American baby potties. But they're trying to build this model where every home in Ghana will actually have some sort of toilet facility in there. And therefore, if we talk about some of the USLP that we do locally, we talk about villages and cities that are, what's the word? Open defecation-free communities. I mean, maybe it was me, but I was shocked to find out just how much pooing goes on outside people's residential homes, okay? And that's not just in Choco, okay? That is in every community you're living in, basically. It goes on. And so Unilever is fully involved in trying to find solutions to that problem. Knorr as well, which is the sister brand to our Royco, okay? It's about nutritious meals. So in a country like Nigeria, Knorr is fortified. Okay, so Royco will be looking at that going forward. The point is that when you use our ingredients, you should be getting some extra fortification, whether vitamins, whether minerals, and Apuna salt is iodized. So you're not just getting salt or getting the flavor, you're getting a health benefit by consuming the product. And with Dove as well, okay, we're committed to reaching 50 million people with our self-esteem workshops. So they're working on the gender equality. Okay, I love some of the Dove campaigns where, you know, we all have our little things, you know, whether it's freckles, whether it's big eyebrows, bushy eyebrows that we think we're very conscious about, okay? And they have adverts where you have friends telling you how beautiful you look and focusing on the positives and not always looking at yourself and thinking about the negative. So Dove as a brand is already in that space. So they've extended that to say, look, we're really going to do workshops to really help women across the world to improve their self-worth. Because when you're more confident about yourself, when you're happy with yourself, there's a direct correlation to what you are able to achieve in life overall.
No poverty, where no child goes to bed hungry, where everyone is equal, and we all live well within the means of our planet. This can be a reality. When the United Nations asked 7 million people across the globe about what mattered to them most, they said an end to inequality, climate change, and extreme poverty. So now there's an ambitious plan of action to make this happen by 2030. The Sustainable Development Goals, or Global Goals as they're commonly known. And we want world leaders from 193 countries to commit to them. These goals act as a to-do list for people and the planet to help deliver this ambitious plan. And in September 2015, the United Nations will unveil the global goals to the world. But it's one thing to set goals. The hard part is achieving them. The best chance of achieving these goals is if everyone knows about them and works together to make them happen. And everyone means everyone. Non-government organizations, the business world, governments, and society as a whole. Because if we can make the goals happen, we will all benefit. The problem is, right now, not everyone knows about them. Project Everyone and Global Citizen want to tell everyone on the planet about the goals and make them famous so everybody is aware of how important they are. They aim to reach 7 billion people in 7 days after they launch in September. That's where Unilever comes in. We're partnering with them to spread the word. With trusted brands like Lifebuoy, Knorr, Dove, Domestos and Ben & Jerry's, we touch over 2 billion lives each day and are already bringing the goals to life through our social missions. The challenges the goals aim to tackle have a huge impact on our business and are aligned with our own ambitions set out in our Unilever Sustainable Living Plan. Making sure that these goals become a reality ensures sustainable growth for our business and a bright future for our consumers, our people, our suppliers, and the communities where we operate. It comes down to this. The more people know about the global goals, the more people can make a difference, and the more successful we'll be. If we tell everyone about them, our world leaders have to make them happen. We want to make sure everybody, everywhere, has enough money to buy food to feed their families, educate their children, and protect themselves against disease. We're all in this together. So let's ensure that global goals cannot be ignored and help create a brighter future so everybody can enjoy life today while protecting the planet for future generations. There's never been a better time to create a bright future. Be part of it. Tell everyone.
There's a lot of effort being made in terms of everybody in this world knowing about these goals, so that we can hold our governments accountable to delivering on those goals. Okay? So it's a public education, it's almost like a public education campaign. So it's about you knowing about them, going home and talking to your friends and families about them, so that it comes alive. Otherwise, it stays on paper and it stays on PowerPoint. And it stays there also for those who have committed to delivering on it. Okay? So they have their PowerPoint and their slides, and it goes into a drawer or stays on a computer hard drive, and that is finished. So the main aim, the difference about these ones is that every single person on this planet is supposed to know about it, so that they know what to expect from their leaders, and they know what to expect in their future. If we have a future where we have gender equality, will you be worried about your daughters? You know the future will be better for your daughters. So I'm talking to men and women here, because men also have children. That's why I'm saying daughters. Or some men feel, hey, me, I'm a man, but then they start praying, give me a son, because you've been treating women not so nicely. So, especially for men who treat women badly, I pray for daughters. I pray for daughters for you. You didn't hear the amen. At the function recently, and some guy came to talk about, women's equality. Hello. He came to talk about women's equality with passion. When he finished, so that he has 3 children, 3 girls. That's why he understands the issue. Okay? So, the point is that the future will look brighter. We're Ghanaians. Tell me, anybody with no family member who is poor. Every month when they call you, So if we had all family members who were taking care of themselves, if we imagine a future with no poverty, and everybody joins in that dream of a future with no poverty, it impacts all of us. So this is not about somebody else's, this is about us. And our rights are human rights. This is about human rights. So that even your family members and the distant cousins and even the neighbor who is not a family member who comes to collect every month, then they don't collect because they're okay. They're earning. As we're here, unless you have no brothers, no sisters, no children, and no family, you're going to have descendants or family members who are going to be here 100 years from today. If the environment is dirty, if there's smoke, and everybody has clogged lungs because the environment is so bad, or there's no water to drink because the rivers have all been polluted, what future are you leaving for your children and your children's children? So this is about all of us, today, tomorrow, and tomorrow's tomorrow. And as we hold each other accountable to these goals, then we're guaranteed that at least most of them will be delivered upon in the future, which will make life better for all of us. For all of us. Okay? Peace and justice. We're in Ghana today, we know that what that justice means. Eh? When you can get your justice without buying it, without handing over a goat and yam. Eh? When you're afraid that your opponent can afford a goat and you can't afford a goat, you shouldn't have to worry about that. Justice should be guaranteed on its merit. So imagine that future for all of us, where we can get justice for what it is worth, true justice. I think that would definitely be a brighter future. Don't you think so? Yeah. It's about a brighter future. So we have a USLB as a company. We've now joined, partnered with other organizations, and we now have these beautiful goals that a lot of our governments will be signing on to. They haven't signed on to them already. And the minute we have that confirmation, you can tell me whether it's been done or not done. The minute we have that conversation, you go to your assemblyman and you ask him what he's doing about the goals. That is what it's about. So we must share the news. This is good news. And the objective is that we must all own it and share it until everybody knows about the good news and everybody demands that the good news becomes a good life, a reality. Okay, thank you.
To me, it's a very fantastic thing to do, to spread the message. A lot has been said about the global goals. What I want to add is this. In 2 days' time, that's on the 25th, 193 world leaders will gather to gavel this development goals into existence. So in 2 days' time, this will be introduced, and we're hoping that from 2016, we'll start the actual implementation. A lot is being done by Unilever, but the point really is, are you telling your story in Ghana? And that is where we come in. The Global Compact provides a platform for you to tell your story, because we believe a number of companies are willing to do these things, but then they still see it as too far away. But how can we translate all these things into practical actions? And these are things you're already doing. So my message today is simple. How can we go out to tell our story? I came in, I was given this, and there's something behind us. I hope you've all seen it. Who can tell me what is? Exactly. That is to mean we all have a role to play. We all have to tell the story. How best can we tell the story than talking about what we are doing, translating all these goals into practicalities, letting people see that it's not rocket science. It's something that we can collectively work to achieve. So I have a role to play. You also have a role to play. So I want to thank you for this opportunity, and I know together we'll work to ensure that indeed Ghana benefits from these goals and they do not stay on the shelves. We need to make sure that happens. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kofi. So we all have a role to play.
I'ma tell them.